much for joining me today. We're back to Black, where we cover our Black businesses, our Black business owners, and entrepreneurs. Today we have a special guest, Miss Qamil So Dope. I actually was into her some years ago. Great songs that she have, great voice, period. Very happy to have her here. We don't have too many artists, and we do want to get more in here, but we have our own Columbus own artist right here. Tell me about yourself, Miss Qamil.
Well, my name is Qamil, or Qamil So Dope, depending on who you ask. I am a R&B singer-songwriter, also the owner of So Dope Entertainment, and the upcoming Ohio R&B Music Festival. I've been hosting events and singing here for about 8 years now. So just going into a new chapter with some new things.
That's pretty dope. Like your name.
Yeah.
So how did you know you had a gift for singing?
Like many soul singers, I started singing when I was like 3. I don't know. As soon as my family figured out that I could hold a tune, they were like, "You're gonna get up here in this church and you're gonna sing." My grandfather's a pastor, so I started off singing in church, then fell in love with R&B, like, I don't know, middle school, high school, and then kind of around the bad boy era, listening to Faith and Carl Thomas, I knew, like, I think I might want to do that one day. It took me a while to really get started. I started songwriting in college, and then it was about 8 years after that I was like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and give it a whirl.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you realize you have this talent, you want to be a singer. Your first album, tell me the name of it. You know, how was it creating your first album?
Technically, my first album was in college, but you will never hear that. That was my first time in a dorm room with some friends. My friend who was learning to be a producer at the time, he's now in LA, like, producing insanely crazy things for basketball teams. But that was technically the first album, but the first album that you people can find is called So Dope. And that came out, I think, in 2012. But I'm maybe 4 or 5 albums deep now, and a few EPs along the way. I released an album last year called 8, just the number 8. It was my 8th year as an artist. I released it in August. Had taken a couple years off from singing and was just in this new phase of my life. So 8 is a number of new beginnings. And then getting ready to release a new single next week. So it's kind of like full circle.
Right.
What I've been doing.
Now, a lot of people, you know, when you're getting into the music industry, you know, you're about to blow up. We're speaking that to you. You're about to blow up, and everybody all over the world is going to know about you, right? But just to get started, like, a lot of people feel like I have to go out here and I have to get this record deal before I even, you know, get into this. What about you? Like, what are your thoughts on just putting yourself out there? How do you put yourself out there?
I think that, well, I know that the music industry is very different than it was, like I said, bad boy era. There was really no internet there then. Now you can be completely indie. You know, you can set up your studio at home or pay for these things yourself. It's really about investing in yourself. You don't need a record label. You could be very successful as an independent artist. Without all of that, if you are someone who wants to pursue a deal with a record label, they still do that. But for me, I like to do everything myself, like pretty much all of it.
Do you ever see yourself like kind of trying to get a record label, or are you just indie for life?
I actually had my own label a few years ago. I ran a label for a couple years. It was So Dope Music, which one day I'll probably do again, but I signed myself first. And then I've pretty much just been operating that way since then, just completely independently. I don't ever see myself pursuing a deal with a label, but maybe something like they are an umbrella for my own label and give me money. Something like that I would be cool with.
People like where they start a record label and maybe they are picked up by a bigger label, but they get to do what they want.
Still run independently, and then they kind of not sure of the ins and outs of that financially, but that would be something I'd be interested in. Yeah.
So my favorite song of yours is Dreamcatcher. I've used it for a few of my videos. I remember reaching out like, can I use that? I love this song.
I remember that.
So for yourself, what is your favorite song? What song touches you and just is so dear to you?
whew, I probably have written over 100 songs.
Wow.
So that's a really, really, for myself and for other artists. But I would say the song that I really like to perform is called Before We Let Go.
Oh.
And it was produced by the infamous. It was a friend of mine who passed away. But that one's a fan favorite. It's very like emotional and super soulful. I like to do it live. And then I have one called Do You Still that's kind of more of an acoustic kind of vibe. That one's a favorite too. I don't know, it just depends on the day. I had a song called Blow that is not about blowing bubbles. That's awesome.
Now I have to go look this up.
That was really fun. It's not for the kids. I mean, I don't know. It just depends on my mood. Like I will switch my whole set right before I perform because I'm like, I don't really feel like singing that. I've done it in the middle of a song. Like, you know what? Cut it. No. Play this one instead.
Right.
So it kind of depends. That's a hard question.
Well, that's good. Just having that, I felt like that's an Erykah Badu type of vibe. Like, no, I'm just gonna go with this. We're just gonna go with feeling, you know. So you sing with a band, or
yes?
Okay.
I do kind of a little bit of everything. You might see me do an acoustic set with just a guitar player. You might see a DJ set. You might see a band. I actually recently got my own band, the So Dope Band, and we're gonna debut in March. So they'll be playing my original stuff, and of course we do some covers because there's things I really like to sing. But yeah, at this point I was like, okay, you've done so many things. Like, what is that one thing that's missing? And I felt like having a band play my material and people can book the whole thing.
Right.
Was the next step.
How putting together a band? Like, how did you put together the people that you want? How did you find them?
I made a post and said I want my own band. Who's not in a band?
Oh, man.
Who would want to be a part of something different? There's a lot of cover bands in Columbus. I didn't really want to go in the cover band direction. I was thinking more like Mint Condition, strictly, and they make songs and they play whatever they want and original stuff. So that's what I wanted. I made a post. People who were interested inboxed or commented. And then most of the people that I've selected are people that I've played with before in various things. Yeah.
So let's wind a little bit, all right? You're out here, you're putting yourself out, you know this is what you want to do. Tell me about your first gig.
Very first gig.
Or at least your earliest one that you can remember.
I remember getting booked to sing at Bellagio's. I don't know if you're in Columbus. It was a pool hall, like on the east side.
Man.
And that was at the very beginning and I went in and I sang the song, and there was a guy in there who was like, looked like Tupac, like with no shirt on. He's bald and he had a bandana on, and there's probably a YouTube video of this, and he was very enthusiastic about my life. But that's what I remember, like early 2012, into 2012-ish. How I made the decision to even start. I was at Suite 143, which used to be downtown, for an open mic called Laughing and Lounging. And I went with my friend who's a comedian to just see him be supportive. And next thing I know, they're like, and next to the stage is Qamil. I'm like, what? Yeah, giving them my name and picked the song, gave it to the band, and I was just on the spot. And I went up there and I sang the song like terrified, and it went well. And then people really liked it, so I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm gonna do this.
Terrified?
Yeah, from that scary moment turned into a whole career.
So did you have stage fright, or was it just more like just, oh really?
Stage fright is the reason why I didn't start earlier, like when I was in college, where I was just writing and like dabbling in recording. But I had like the knee knocking, sweating, can't like just stand there like a deer caught in headlight. Like it sounded good, but I did not move at all.
Now you're like, I can see if you myself, where I have that, you probably shouldn't be in public nowhere singing like that, but your voice is incredible. How do you fight that stage fright?
It took years. I started telling myself, like, nobody knows that you're nervous but you, and you just need to have fun. And if you remember, I started just before every performance until I believed those things. It took a couple of years. Like, now I'm good. We're going to have a good time. But that's my advice I give to artists who have stage fright. Like, nobody knows unless you get up there and you look nervous and you sound shaky and you look uncomfortable. But most of all, have fun. Like, if it's something that you love to do, that's why you're doing it. So get up there and enjoy it. And that really helped me. Thank God.
That's good. So I also see that you have some blessing. You have a few offspring as well.
I do.
Are any of them musical like you?
I have a 12-year-old daughter and a 2-year-old son. Big gap. Both of them. She's a better singer than I was at 12. So I'm curious to see how that develops. Right now, she's kind of like, I want to be a painter. I want to be a interior designer. And she can also rap too. And then my son, his dad is a rapper. So he's just came out a little ball of music, breakdancing and drumming on things.
Oh, not breakdancing.
Yes.
Don't let me see a 2-year-old breakdance. I
He's
support
a
that.
breakdancer. I have to put a video up. It's hilarious.
I'll be a hype man. Go.
He's
go,
so
little
serious.
play, go.
He goes. His dad takes him to see Transit Arts, which is a group here, like a youth music group, and they have a youth open mic, and they have break dancers, and they perform like teenagers and middle schoolers all over the city. Sometimes I think they travel over the state, but he's taking him to see them. He saw those break dancers, and he's changed his little toddler life.
So, well, speaking of changing people's lives, you have an Ohio R&B Fest that you're planning?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
So that also started with a post.
The power of social media, you guys.
As most of the things that I do start off by just gauging what's going on. I'm very, very in tune, but R&B is my obsession. And I just don't feel like R&B and statewide gets enough recognition. There are probably hundreds of R&B artists in the city, in the state, and people don't even really realize that unless they really follow that culture and go to shows and go to hear these bands and these singers, buy music and all that. So I really wanted to create something really big. We have ComFest here and we have the Arts Fest here, and it's kind of a little bit of everything going on, but I want something very R&B specific. I didn't want it to just be a Columbus R&B artist, although we have tons of them. I don't think people realize. I even started like a master list of active artists that I didn't even realize all of the people, but I wanted it to be statewide. I want to include every city that has R&B artists, and there will be opportunities for performance. It's going to be a weekend-long thing. Kind of, I guess, along the lines of the Essence Fest, where you could go to this stage to see somebody, or you can go and there's going to be vendors and showcases and all kinds of cool stuff. So I wanted to create something to celebrate and support and just really showcase artists. Festival weekend and throughout the years, there will be different things going on.
Now, because we're going to broadcast this to people all over the country, even the world, can you be outside of Ohio, maybe in Indiana come, or do you
can
really
come.
But you really want the focus
Anybody
to be showcasing the Ohio artists?
To participate or to be one of the artists or band or DJ or host. I want people that are in the state.
Okay.
Ohio gets slept on a lot, and we have been innovative in music since R&B happened. OJ's, Isley, like Roger Troutman, John Legend. These people came from Ohio, so this is about celebrating our legacy throughout history and what's going on right now, because there's a lot of people here that are super dope.
Okay, and there are definitely a lot of people.
I'm going to hear about them. I'm going to make sure about it.
And when is this festival again?
October 8th through 10th.
Okay, October 8th. Mark your calendars, you guys. Yay. October 8th through 10th.
Yes.
So, and one last thing before you go, you have a new single that's coming out?
Yes, it comes out on the 4th, which is Tuesday, and it's for lovers, called Cherry Wine, and it was produced by David Brodus, who's in Cincinnati. So trying to work with different producers and people throughout the state as well. Kind of a theme I got going on here. So yeah, super sexy. I'm very excited.
I can't wait to listen to it. And it drops what day?
It drops on Tuesday, the 4th.
Tuesday the 4th, cop her latest single, Cherry Wine.
It'll be on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, my website.
Yes. Now tell us, if people are like, oh, I'm really feeling you, I want to hear you, I want to purchase you, I want to support you, what's your website?
It is www.QamilSoDope.com. I'm sure you'll spell it so that you know exactly how to spell it. It's QAMIL. M as in Mary, I-L. So like Soul Train, dope like, I don't know, hip hop. Dopeness.
Dopeness,
Camille
yes.
so dope. On everything.
Excellent. Thank you again for joining me today and sharing with us your powerful voice and just your vision, because you're right, as Ohio, you know, we're also looked at for a very political state, but we are also instrumental in a lot of movements that start, you know. So definitely check out her album, check out her website, check out her video that's going to come up after this interview, and remember, support Black businesses, including our Black artists, okay? Yay. Thank you again for joining me. I am Miss Champagne B. Check us out on @TheSingleGalGuide. Follow me, and if you like Black Business Life, which I know you do because you're watching this, come to our website, www.blackbusinesslife.com, or follow us on Instagram @blackbusinesslife, not .com. Thank you guys so much, and bye-bye.
Just keep thinking about what we do. We kissed goodbye this morning. You whispered, girl, I just can't keep my hands off you. Our love is refreshing, like a morning dew. Our love is so sweet. Can never get enough of you. All I ever think about is what we do when I'm alone with you. Hey, yeah, yeah, yeah. All I ever think about what we do. I'm so in love with you, boy. You give me love, love, love. Crazy love. Every time you touch me, boy, you blow my mind. I'm feeling your vibrations deeper. And every time I touch you, I'm trying to blow your mind. I just want you to feel me deeper. You give me love, 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 love. Crazy love. All I ever think about is what we do when I'm alone with you, baby. Yeah. All I ever think about is what we do. I'm so in love with you, yeah. I'm so in love with, so in love with, so in love with you. So in love with, so in love with, so in love with, so in love with you. So in love with, all I ever think about is what we do when I'm alone with you, my baby. All I ever think about, I love the way you love me. I love the way you care for me. You stay on my mind. All I ever think about, hey, what we do. I'm so in love with you. All I ever think about is what we do. What we do, what we do.
This is a public announcement from Black Business Life. Attention all creatives. Black Business Life is ready to make you a star on our own internet channel. Create shows that will be available on Roku, Apple TV, and more. Contact us today for more information.